Hello, guys, and welcome to Shelly Speaks. I'm Jaychele Nicole, your host, and the show is brought to you by bodyslim.net. And I am super excited. We have two super cool guests who I recently found out about. We have the main event. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
I'm doing great. We're happy to be here, happy to be on, and we're excited that you had us on. So awesome time.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
I found you guys through a space, actually. Funny enough, which I honestly
boy.
have.
That a good thing? Those spaces are crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
It was the space where Lala was like putting you guys over. So I was like, I gotta check these guys out.
Okay.
And I think that spaces can be either super good for your branding or not good at all. But you guys are doing amazing. So I'm so intrigued by you guys. The first thing I kind of want to do is give the viewers who might be getting introduced to you for the first time a little bit of background about like how long you guys have been together, what brought you guys together, all that good stuff.
Okay. You wanna go with that, G?
You want, yeah. So as far as what kind of brought us together as a tag team, we both came into the wrestling business as singles wrestlers. So we both came in very similar. We both started in Pittsburgh, trained at the same place. Us both being big guys. We're both 6'5". We're both over 250 pounds. We're both some pretty big guys. So the way I was being used as a singles wrestler was, kind of like how you would see Kane and Undertaker be used. They're the big guy, and it's so weird. I was wrestling a few years, and I actually went down with a knee injury right around the same time Duke was starting to get traction on his own. So it's like I went down, and then in comes another 6'5", 250 plus pound guy with dreadlocks. It's almost like I could have just retired and been like, all right, well, they replaced me. So then we both kind of did our singles thing. And then whenever I came back, we just started talking and we're kind of like, it'd be really cool if we were a tag team. Like, it'd be cool. And a lot of people were against it, honestly. We would bring it up to other promoters, bookers, and people who've been around the industry for a while, and 98% of them were like, I don't see it. I don't think that's a good idea. You guys are good individually. You don't want to take away two good singles entities and put it into one thing. I think you get more mileage by yourself. And we were like, I kind of really want to do the tag team thing. I think we were both just our minds were in it. We did have a couple people who really supported us. Like, that's a great idea. You guys are big, Hawked Animal. I see it. It could be a thing. And that's how we saw it. So, one thing led to another. And then we just went all in on the tag thing. And we've been doing it for 4.5 years at this point. We completely got rid of the singles deals. The rest is history.
Yeah, that's so amazing. You guys have such great chemistry. Obviously, that this story is very heartwarming. I feel like you have to bet on yourself also, especially in wrestling. So I feel like big ups to you guys for that. I do want to ask though, how did you end up in wrestling? What sports did you guys come from? You guys are both huge. I'm 5 feet, so you guys are all the way up there for me. It seems like you guys were built for the business. So was there a certain match or something that you saw and you were like, I want to do this? Or was it somebody brought you in and they were like, hey, you might want to be a wrestler?
Yeah, for me it was more it was a match. Like you said, what brought us to wrestling was it was a match for me. One of my favorite matches to watch, and I can watch this match 1,000 times, was the TLC 2 match at WrestleMania 17. And I remember watching it. I remember begging my mom to I had to beg my mom to. That's back in pay-per-view days. So I had to beg my mom to order it on pay-per-view. And I was so just enamored by these tag teams. I was like, I can't miss this match. Plus, it was a great WrestleMania card, of course.
Yeah.
But I remember watching a match and I was thinking man, this is so cool. I just want to do that. You know what I mean? I just want to be in a tag team. I want to do wrestling, but I never knew, I didn't know how long it's going to take me to get there or what was even the guidelines to even get to actually get to the destination of actually wrestling. I had no idea. But I remember watching that match, and that was pretty much the match that put me over the top. I was like, yeah, I want to be a wrestler one day.
That's great. Ganon, what about you?
Yeah, and for me, my background has always been basketball. So I was a hooper forever, since I was like 5 years old, playing at the YMCA. And then, kind of when high school ended, I had the opportunity to play, in college. But I really wanted to just I'm not a fan of school. So, like, I'm not good at it. So when you get to college and you have to pay for it,
Yeah.
I already don't want to be there. So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like the distractions are they're there. So, like, for me, I made the decision. I was like, let me just not play sports. Let me just actually focus on this expensive ass journey I'm on right now for college. So, after high school, I was done playing sports, and I there was something missing, and I was always been a wrestling fan. But the funny thing is, my favorite part of playing basketball was performing in front of people. It wasn't necessarily the basketball thing. Like, if you took the basketball away and I was still on a basketball court doing cartwheels and people were clapping, I'd probably be just as happy. So it got to the point where, in my early 20s, I was like, well, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a big guy. Wrestlers are big. Why am I not wrestling? So it kind of just, to me, felt like it made sense. I don't think there was one particular match or thing that happened in wrestling that made me want to do it. It's something I always wanted to do, but I think it took not playing any sports to realize, like, okay, no, I have to do this. Like, I can't just sit at home watching wrestling anymore. So.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm about to apply to college. Well, I am applying to college. I'm going to college next year. So I completely feel that. Not excited for the debt or any of that stuff. But I did want to mention that you guys have a great Twitter presence, and that's something that I always value. Was I'm really interested in the marketing side of wrestling and how wrestlers market themselves. So whether it be like the hype videos you guys post, or like the Gatorade bottle over here, how intentional is all of this branding and self-marketing? Are you guys like sitting together and like thinking like, okay, how can we raise our Twitter presence? How can we like market ourselves better? Or is it just kind of you guys are just rolling with the punches and it's just turning out great?
I think we weren't heavy on Twitter before. We were more like Facebook type. We were on Facebook heavy, and more like Instagram, posting pictures and stuff like that. We weren't heavy like on Twitter. I think the pandemic happened, and like we pretty much started just tweeting more. You know what I mean? And we went down to AEW, and we were just talking to each other. It was like, yeah, we got to work on social media stuff. I think we talked about it, but we didn't have a design like we're gonna do this. You know what I mean? Type thing. It was kind of like, all right, we're gonna start being more social on Twitter. And we kind of started doing that like recently, and we just kind of like it's like spaghetti against the wall type deal. Like, you just keep throwing stuff out there and see what sticks. And we just started doing videos more and just doing more like promo stuff, and it seemed to be getting some traction.
Yeah. Ganon, what about your water bottle? I really want to know.
Like about it in general, or
how did it become a part of like your guys's like tag?
So I mean, it never really meant to be anything more than an entrance prop. Like, so kind of the whole way we model ourselves as professional wrestlers is it's very true. So we look at ourselves as professional athletes who happen to wrestle professionally. So we look at ourselves as pro athletes first. So a big influence for us in wrestling a lot of the times isn't wrestling related. Like, we'll watch post-game interviews from NBA players and NFL players and take bits and pieces of how they act and how their mannerisms are and implement that into wrestling. So the pro athlete side of it has always been a huge appeal to us. So the water bottle thing was just kind of a nod to I'm coming out to the ring. I'm ready. Let me spray some water in my mouth, like you see basketball players and NFL players do. Like it's just a normal thing. Um, it literally never meant to be more than just an entrance thing. And now I feel like that's just me now. Like people see me like, oh, where's your water bottle at? Like, where's my water bottle at? I don't know, in my bag somewhere. Like to me, it was never a big deal, but I guess it's become that. It's my, I guess, Mr. Sacco or Al Snow. It's his mannequin head. You know, like wrestlers, they end up having a prop, and it kind of is their thing. So it just happened, I guess.
It's like Sean Spears in his chair. I just think if it gets you over, it gets you over. So I love it. And you did talk a little bit about AEW. You were recently on an episode of Dark Elevation against, I think, the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds. And you were teamed with one of my favorite people. I love Baron Black. I just got to talk to him this week. Super cool.
Super dope, dude.
Yeah, what was that process like? Did you guys get to like choose to work with Baron? Were you guys teamed together? Was it like was there a lot of support backstage after the match? What is that atmosphere like? I know you guys have worked a few matches with them.
Yeah, actually it was he was there, and like they pretty much put names on the board, you know what I mean, for when you're extra. And his name was on the board next to ours, basically, and we were just like, "Yo, let's do it." You know what I mean? We just plus we knew each other because we did loops down in Florida in Jacksonville when he filmed that Daily's place. So it was like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? He was like, "What type of gear you guys wearing?" This guy, I got some gear like that. So, you know, we were already there to talk to each other the whole day. It just so happened that our names are next to each other, so it was like, oh, this is easy, and we were in the same spot, like getting dressed anyway. So it was.
Oh wow!
It worked out. You know, it worked out perfectly.
What about like the support backstage? I'm assuming I wanted to touch on this a little bit, but Paul White put you guys over on commentary throughout the whole match. I don't know if you guys likely heard it. You watch your matches back, I'm guessing. But like, is there's lots of support for you guys? It seems like they keep bringing you back because they like you, obviously. So I'm guessing there's some reaction backstage.
I would say overall, in general, the support at AEW is amazing. It seems that way for everybody. You know, the way they kind of approach wrestling, and it's a beautiful thing, and I wish more wrestling companies would do it. And it's crazy because they're such a big company, but it's such a team, like family atmosphere. Like everyone truly has everyone's back, and they want everyone to be better and everyone to look better and get better and do better. And a lot of times in locker rooms, that's not the case. It's more, I want this specific person or these three people to be really good, and I really don't care about the rest. But that's never the vibe at AEW. You know, so you'll have your match, and you get feedback from people, good, bad, or indifference. You know, if you ask people, they'll tell you. And surprisingly, it's surprising to me. Maybe this is normal, but everyone watches what's going on. Like you'll come backstage, and people that you didn't expect to be watching your match or have any interest in what was going on, they were watching, and they'll pull you aside and they'll give you tidbits about what they've seen. And that's awesome. And that's every time we've ever been down there. I think we've got to work with them 5-6 times now. And that is a consistent thing. It's not like it just happened once and then never again. It's like every single time. And you see them with other people like that as well. So you know it's across the board, but it's a very supportive environment, which is awesome.
I'm really happy to hear that. I'm an AEW mark. I cover AEW all day, all night. So you guys also started the Book More Tag Matches movement, and you had a show in honor of the movement. Was there a particular moment where you guys decided that something needed to change, that you guys needed to start this movement?
Go ahead, dude.
We're really into tag wrestling. We love tag team wrestling, like tag matches. We love the art of it. We studied it, you know, even from kids, like with Ganon. We talk about all the time. We watch WCW a lot. You know, that was like our common bond. You know what I mean? It was like WCW, watching that type of stuff. And on just on like a level of like the indie level, it's not like I don't know if people noticed it, but you may have one tag match, you know what I mean? Or some shows you may have none, you know, or they have three-way tag match, something like that. And we kept seeing it. And I think I was at a point where it was like this kind of being upset about it. And I remember I said something again, like, oh, we got to start booking more tag matches. And then I just tweeted it. You know what I mean? I just put it out there, like, book more tag matches. And this is really the PG side of this conversation. But I put it out there just because I was like, yo, man, like, you know, this is we keep seeing it over and over again. And it's a lot of good tag teams, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where, you know, we need more, we need tag matches to be seen more, because at the height of any company, the tag division is always prominent. You know what I mean? At the height of any division, any company, at any era, it was always decent tag matches. And it was always a lot of tag matches, you know, because you could tell a story that way. And we weren't seeing it. And we just put it out there, book more tag matches in. Like I told someone before, we were talking before on the podcast, and I was like, yo, it could have fell flat. No one could have liked it. No one could have retweeted it. It could just went and just been like any other tweet, because it was just a tweet. And it didn't. So it spawned us to keep going. And the company you're talking about, Pro Wrestling Conquest, they like what we were doing. You know, they like what the speed that we were moving, and like the momentum that we're getting, and a lot of attention. So they were like, yo, let's do a whole show. You know, they hit us up, and they was like, yo, would it be okay if we called the next show book more tag matches? We're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's a big pat on the back for a company, especially, you know, in this day and era. Like, you know, we're two, I don't know if you know this, but we're 265, 260-pound black guys. You know what I mean? So it's like, for us to have a situation where a company is coming to us to say they want to, you know, make a show surrounded, basically catering to our tagline that we just tweeted about, is a big thing. You know what I mean? And we pretty much keeping the ball moving on that. And after that show was like, yo, we gotta keep it going. We gotta, you know, try to do some more stuff. So we got a lot of stuff in the works that we're trying to build off this, book more tag matches.
That's great. I'm super excited for the whole movement. One of my favorite tag teams you guys faced recently, Shane Taylor Promotions. I talked to Shane a little bit ago. Great match. I do want to give you guys a chance before I let you go to say anything to your fans, to your opponents. Is there anything that you want to say that you didn't get the chance to?
G, you got that?
No, what was sorry, I got cut.
I'll say it out. It's fine.
I heard the Shane Taylor promotion, then it got.
Shane Taylor, yep.
What do you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, just before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to the fans, to your opponents, anything that you didn't get the chance to say, which you want to?
Yeah, I mean, the support. I mean, we love our fans, so we love the support. We love anyone who loves wrestling and loves, you know, coming out to shows. And we really appreciate, you know, everyone we see at live events, because we recognize that, you know, they could be out doing anything. It's a Saturday night. They could go out to dinner with their significant other. They could be going to see a movie. They could go watch basketball somewhere, football somewhere, stay at home, save money, but they're spending their hard-earned money to come out and watch us, and they're spending money on merch, and they're spending money to bring their kids and to buy concession items. So, you know, a lot of money goes into someone's outing to come watch wrestling events when they don't have to. So, you know, we're super grateful for, you know, the fans. You know, that's a big one. So, like, that's a message we always like to get out there, is, you know, to make sure that people know that we're, you know, digging the support, and especially for indie wrestling, because, you know, that's a flag that we're waving, you know, currently. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. Please let the people know where they can find you, what shows you have coming up, all that good stuff.
They can check us out on Twitter at It's the Main Event. Also on Instagram at It's the Main Event. YouTube, It's the main event as well. I'm missing something. Facebook, Facebook is just TME. Because we're slowly phasing out the main event, but they can also go pick up T-shirts from our from our whatamaneuver.net. You can get it on you can actually get the Book More Tag Matcher T-shirts on whatamaneuver.net, and you can have T-shirt, sweaters, whatever you want to get. You know, they got hoodies, whatever. Grab you some merch there, or at prowrestlingtees.com/ it's the main event. We got all types of T-shirts on there too.
And as far as shows that we have coming up, so the 18th, January 18th, will be in the Cleveland area.
December 18th.
What was that?
You said December.
Did I say December?
You said January.
Oh, yeah, January. No, December. We're still in December. I'm looking ahead.
Yeah, we may be out there.
Yeah, December 18th. For AIW. So that'll be an awesome show. It's always a good show up there. A lot of times their shows are live most of the time.
Yeah, on Indie Wrestling, IWTV.
Yeah, IWTV. So there's a couple ways to check it out if you're not in the Ohio area as well. I think that might be our last one for the year.
Yeah, it may be our last one. We're still waiting for an email to come back for another one. But
yeah, we might have something else coming up. But as of now, that's our bookend for 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have all the links in the description for you guys to check out all of this great stuff that they're doing. Thank you guys so much for being on here. I've been Jaychele. You can check me out on Twitter at Jaychele Nicole. You can also check out bodyslam.net on Twitter at bodyslam.net and check out all of the great stuff that I'm writing over there. And then also there will be a couple of great articles about these guys up at the same time around that this show will go up as well. So thank you guys so much for checking out this show, and we hope that you have a great day.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you guys.